Here we go.
Welcome back. It's the finale. Finally. Finale. I don't know. Stupid joke. Sorry. Bad audience.
Whoa.
Man. No, it was
Bad audience.
Don't talk about our audience that way.
No. Sorry.
I would
you guys.
never.
I'm just talking to you guys. I'm not talking to anybody listening right now.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Acceptable.
Yeah. What'd you guys think? Is it everything you expected?
Congratulations to Savannah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, I thought it was Sophie.
You watched alternate universe.
No, I'm just kidding.
Watch the knockoff Survivor.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was. Okay, no, they kind of had me on my toes. You know, we all felt pretty good about Savannah being the winner of 49 coming into this episode, and they were starting to make me think. I'm like, is Sophie going to pull this out, and am I finally going to be right? They had me guessing, but I mean, what a well-deserving winner.
Yeah.
Just best, Logan, you've said this, like, best player doesn't often win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this season the best player won.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, there was definitely moments where she didn't excel in certain areas, maybe the social side of it. And I know we'll talk about some there, but there's areas that she really excelled in. But all in all, end of the day, best, like, across the board.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I thought there for a minute at Final Tribal that Sophie was going to pull it out because some of her answers were very, very good. And the part where I started to get really worried was where Savannah didn't know like anyone's loved ones' names.
Thought that was
a great question.
Yeah.
Old school question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I don't know that I can. And she's like, I want you to try.
I was like, holy cow, Christina.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, she hit her with the same thing that, like the other way around when Savannah was like, who are you voting for?
Yeah.
So kind of like, nope, no, tell me who you're voting for.
And
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Brandon.
I was just going to say, I feel like oftentimes we get this just kind of softball questions thrown at them. And that was like, I'm really going to put you to the test, Savannah, and expose you and make some people think. And I don't know, it was different and I liked it. And, you know, the beauty of Survivor is every jury member has different criteria for why they vote. And, you know, for Christina, obviously that was important. For 5 of the people voting, they didn't play much into it. But that's, you know, that could have been a losing answer in a different jury. So it was great.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I think she saved it by starting to talk about their loved ones. Like, I'm blanking on the name, but I know you've got 2 kids and we were yelling their name at the challenge, or, hey, yeah, your partner, you know, you guys have been together this many years. And like, okay, she does know them, just kind of blanking on names.
I mean,
I thought she kind of saved it there at the end for her.
That, I mean, thinking of lack of sleep, lack of food, being on the spot. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to, but I also think what she said in her final kind of closing statement really helped her there. She was like, yes, I may not have had the most like well-rounded like social side and know everybody's loved one name, but I know like I had those interactions with the people that I needed to at that time to get me further in the game. And so I think she spoke to that pretty well at the end. That helped out too.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this jury wasn't bitter. I'm glad. I thought all the questions by all the people in the jury were great. Like you said, Brandon, I think there's some softball ones like, what is the move you're most proud of? And I even liked, in kind of a weird way, I liked the question about like, tell me your why.
That was my favorite question.
and and then like, should that matter in why I vote for you? And I was like, okay, that was really cool. And I agreed with all of them. The why shouldn't matter. You shouldn't vote for somebody just because they have a cool story. I'm in total agreement, and I'm glad everybody said that. But I don't know. It was just kind of cool. And you got to see a side of Sage that, man, she was on a roller coaster this episode. And I feel like I kind of wrote down in my notes, it just seems like she's battling some demons of just self doubt. And I mean, even afterwards, like, you're in the final three, every single person gets at least one vote, which just doesn't happen. There was no goat drug to the end. And then still at the end, she's like, do these people even like me? Like, what are you taught? Like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
man, it you kind of see that emotional toll, and clearly for some people it doesn't bother them like it did with Sage, but I just thought, like, man, she's battling some demons there.
Yeah, I would think, yeah, if you come into the game kind of dealing with that already, and then you're on the island and you go the distance like she did for 26 days, not knowing what a lie is from the truth, or what a truth is versus a lie, and yeah, that can really get to you. But this is one of the best final tribal councils I've seen, from questions asked to answers to really feeling like all three of them had a legitimate chance to win, and being okay with that outcome.
And I'm kind of happy that it was all women. Like, that hasn't happened since season 29.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So, and then the fact that all three of them got votes, like we keep saying, I don't know. I was very happy with it. Even Jeff mentioned, like, these were really good questions. Like,
And
so
who was it though? It was like, I think it was the first person. They didn't even ask a question. They were like, "Hey, congratulations," and then it was like, "Next." Like, I just feel like
I think
that's.
it was Rizzo.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's odd, and maybe just because he was just voted out. But I would still think, why do you not ask a question there? Do you have?
Well,
I mean, I guess maybe he had his mind made up, and it didn't need.
I think that is a lot of it. I think it would have been weird if Rizzo didn't vote for Savannah.
Yeah,
It would have been a very Charlie Maria situation.
absolutely.
But I also know that is a long, long tribal council that they do, and he probably did ask a bunch of questions. But I would imagine that one, they want to make sure that we hear from at least one of every jury member, but he probably didn't have really anything that added to the narrative.
Yeah.
Just because it was like Rizzo's voting Savannah. So let's
Yeah.
just have him be the great job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Person.
other thing too, I feel like he could have set Savannah up for, like, hey, you and I were a pair. Why don't you tell everybody things that you did, like, away from me, and like tee her up for some, like, to earn some other votes. But also, I could also see, and this is where I wish we got a peek behind the curtain into kind of some of the conversations the jury is having while in Ponderosa. Because you see that a little bit in Big Brother. They all, like, get together right at the very end and kind of asking questions, and you see them debating back and forth a little bit. And so it could have, Rizzo gets there and they're like, hey, we've got these questions lined up. And he's like, yeah, those are good to me. Like, I don't really
Yeah.
have anything else. Like, I'll just congratulate them. I'm freshly voted out. You guys ask away. So,
Yeah.
but that is one thing that I wish they would change, even if it's out on YouTube or.
I feel like they used to have Ponderosa content, so it would be cool to just.
It doesn't have to be like a full hour-long episode, but give us, I don't know, 3 minutes of them bantering back and forth, or like seeing like their reactions after somebody gets voted out.
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
Yeah, Rizzo's first day in Ponderosa, Christina's first day in Ponderosa, and all the way backwards, right? I would watch that.
Them eating
And
food.
that may take
yeah.
away from some of Like if Rizzo was in the final three, and all we hear the jury talk about is, oh my gosh, Rizzo's annoying me so much with his dang idol. That could give away like who are they're voting for at the end. But I feel like they could
I mean, they
cut
just
around
wouldn't
that
put,
and be
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
So
going back to what you said about it being a really good, just kind of final five, and it being everybody getting votes and all. I mean, even going back to the fire making challenge, I felt like that was fairly competitive. I feel like sometimes one person just takes away with it. Not that Rizzo, he didn't get a great fire going, but I still feel like it was decent.
well,
So
I'm gonna channel my inner Brandon here, and how in the world do you apply for Survivor for years, get selected for Survivor, know you're going on there, I would think at least a couple weeks before you leave. You're on the island for 20 plus days and you've never made fire? Like, what are you thinking? 49 seasons in and you're not sure if, I don't need to worry about it. What?
Yeah, no, I can't. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that basically every season, because I feel like there's somebody that's like, oh, I can't do fire, and I'm with you. And this was the first season that I actually, when they were talking before the Final Four fire making challenge, that they were talking about like none of us really have been making fire. I never really thought, but I'm like, they just haven't had a fire at their camp the entire season, have they?
I mean,
You've just been eating coconut.
that
A
or
large portion of it, and then they're letting the person that can start it really easily do it.
Christina.
It's like they weren't, yeah, they were letting Christina do it because she's good at it.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I'm with you. That is pretty decent odds should you make the Final Four that you were going to have to be in fire. So I don't know why that wouldn't be something that you would want to have a really good grasp of going into the season. Because I was honestly surprised that how well prepared Savannah was. That she was like, oh, uh-oh,
yeah.
fire is going to be a problem for me, and clearly wasn't. I think she was playing us.
Honestly, if I was applying for Survivor, like got selected, whatever the case may be, two main things I'd be practicing, I feel like, would be puzzles, my balance. Well,
Balance.
I guess three. So puzzles, balance, and fire. Like, gotta get that down.
And I'm all about downplaying it. Don't let anybody know how good you are at making fire. Pretend like you haven't. But then in the confessionals behind the scenes, you're saying like, yeah, I can do this like super easily, like no problem at all. But I've played this up, and then you go in and you crush it. Like
Logan, your 2 words and then saying 3 things reminded me of Charles Barkley. 2 words: Nash and Paul.
Yeah. Sorry about
Anyway,
what? Speaking of things that you should be good at, Rizzo. Like, could you be any worse at puzzles?
so bad. So bad. I don't did he ever get the ball, like the table puzzle together?
I don't know if he did.
I didn't pay that close attention to if he finished or not, but he just doesn't seem to have a game plan when it comes to the puzzles, other than I'm just going to go see what anybody else is doing and copy their homework. And
And it didn't help that the first time he did that, he ended up winning against
against
that
Alex,
journey with
yeah.
Alex. So it probably was like, oh yeah, I can do this here. But I'm like, if somebody's ahead of you to show you what piece to place next,
you've lost.
then they're going to beat you. Like I don't. Okay, whatever.
Hey, clearly, I mean, challenges was not his game. He was the strategy. He was a strategy guy, and
true.
that's okay.
Can I say another thing that I hate? I'm
Sure.
sorry, I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
The mud. Like, if you want to have a challenge with the mud, fine. But you're going to let them go and eat steak and potatoes and not let them wash off first?
I thought the funnier thing was that they're having this heartfelt moment, Savannah and Sage, and they both are just caked in mud. Like, I'm gonna pick you because you haven't had a chance to eat. We've been kind of going after each other, and they're just mud. I'm like, I can't. This is so unserious.
Honestly, Savannah looked kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then,
But
I mean, like you said,
at
they're
least let them wash off when they get to the sanctuary. Like, come on, just hop in the ocean.
pretty sure Savannah or one of them still had mud on her teeth while she was eating steak.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't get it. And I'm sure it's to get people talking about it like we are, but come on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I could do away with the mud.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2 on your soapbox tonight, Blake.
And if you're going to dive through the mud, use your buff. Cover your eyes. Unless they tell you can't. But we've seen people do that in the past. Instead, you just, like,
get what-
mouthful of dirt.
And whatever happened with Sophi.
Yeah. It looked like Christina. I don't know if it was Christina or who it was, but in the slow mo, like was like spitting mud out.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought Christina broke her leg.
Did too. I was like, she just tore her ACL.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh,
She
no.
folded like a folding chair.
yeah. I think she thought she was seriously hurt for a second. I think we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I'm good. Everything's fine.
Yeah. And honestly, for her to go through all of these challenges, there's definitely several that she struggled and had some falls. I mean, but
Shout out Jelinski.
Yep. But she always got back up, and thinking about the balance beam out in the water of getting herself back up. I mean, she always got back up and pushed hard and finished it. So props to her. Like that, she was one this season that I didn't think would do great by any means, whether it be challenges or whatever the case may be. But she actually really impressed me for the most part. Not necessarily the best gameplay or strategic wise, but outside of that, like just the season wise.
Yeah.
Just individually, yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And she was the one that was the closest to the goat getting taken to the end, but I don't think it would have been she gets 0 votes. I think she still would have probably gotten 1. So I'm curious your guys' thoughts on kind of the interaction between her and Sage. And I feel like there were a couple of those.
I think the one for me that stood out the most was whenever she at Tribal and Jeff had asked a question and Christina gave an answer, and Sage was like, "Wait, like I'm taking that kind of personally," and I don't know if that was Sage just being kind of in her feels, because I didn't necessarily feel like Christina said anything wrong in that moment by any means.
Christina did what we've seen 1,000 times in Survivor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why Sage is so great and why you should get rid of her and keep me. We've seen, that's like textbook Survivor. If there's clearly 2 people that are on the chopping block, like we see it all the time. So I think it's just a buildup of everything that has happened. I mean, and kind of a similar scenario with what happened in the live reunion, in the live recap, where I think it's just she's kind of at her breaking point, and that was her moment, was just happened to be right there. I did think it was like awesome that Sage was like, "Hold on, Jeff, I'm not done." I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
okay."
I was surprised to see some people's reaction to Christina there, because there were a handful of people that were like, "Wow, didn't realize Christina was the mean girl this season." I was like, "Wow, I didn't really take it that way." I mean,
No.
I guess if you are sensitive and think she's attacking you, but I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't take it that way at all. Were you surprised that Sophie took Sage and made Rizzo and Savannah
Not at
battle it
all.
out?
Not at all. I
No,
I think it was the correct move because she knew.
100%.
I think she knew at the in the bottom of her heart if Savannah went, she was winning. And so that was the only other way of getting Savannah out of there. And so I think it was the smart move. And if Savannah was upset, and it seemed like she was there for a while, maybe not so much now, but hey, I'm taking my final three. We always talked about that. But if that's not who you are, how like your character, I don't know. I just at the end of the day, it's $1 million, and I think that kind of goes back to the Sage thing of you're playing for $1 million. You have all these emotions in it, and then everything kind of breaks, and all of those emotions hit. I think some of that maybe been set out of context on Savannah's part, but at the end of the day, it's a game for $1 million. She needed to do what was best to set herself up for success, and to get Savannah out, that was the best option.
Yeah, with that, but I think where she made the mistake was keeping Sage over Christina.
For sure. I mean, if that was
Yeah.
a for sure way of
If
getting.
if her and Rizzo would have said, "I'm sorry, Savannah, the only way we're going to beat you is to take you out and hopefully get you to compete against fire or against Christina making fire, we've got to do it."
Yeah,
That seemed like a miss.
I mean, if Christina would have been there, yeah, absolutely. But at that point, the best option was for Rizzo and Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of Sophie's approach with the Final Four fire making challenge, where it's going to be a game time decision? Like, I don't want to hear your pitches, because traditionally, hey, I'm going to sit down one on one with each of you, and I want to hear your reason why I should take you with me. What'd you guys think of that?
I honestly didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of one, give her some time to decompress, kind of think of where she's at. Obviously, everybody's going to be talking up their game and throwing other people, and I mean, I think you always hear those same things, and consistently. I mean, you've been on the same beach with these people for how long? You know their gameplay and kind of what's gone on, anyways. Give me just some time to sit there and think what I want to do without some noise from everything else.
Yeah, I loved it and I hated it. I thought it made for bad TV because I would have liked to see some conversations there and just, I don't know, the illusion of not knowing what was going to happen and like, oh, maybe she'll do this. No, maybe she'll do this, and kind of seeing the thought process behind that. But I think it was really smart because then it's like, okay, let me think through this myself, what's best for me, and not be influenced by anybody else. I've got to make this decision for me and not think, okay, this person's really going to get their feelings hurt, and now I have that to consider. Like,
Yeah.
let's just cut that out. I'm making the decision. You'll find out when you find out. So
And I feel like that is kind of how she's been for some of the season of I don't know what I'm going to do. Like it's going to be a game time decision. It doesn't seem like she's able, I don't know, to think super fast. It takes her some time to make that decision and make up her mind.
yeah, almost paralysis by analysis, and I think she probably realizes that on like, I need less noise right now, and I just need to think through this, and I've got time, so instead of flooding me with information, let me just figure it out. So
What did you think, Brandon?
I liked it because if I was in that situation, I feel like that would be an approach that I would like to take, because it's a $1 million decision you're making,
And
right? And
I mean, Jeff laid that out really well, I thought, in the episode. He talked about one
Yeah.
person making fire, not.
yeah. So it's the biggest decision to the point in the game, and you've seen a few times where you could argue that Sophie hasn't made the right move, and I think She just approached it and made the correct move. And yeah, it doesn't make for good TV, but I don't know. I feel like I would just be annoyed at, like, please take me with you and blah blah. It's just, you'll know when you'll know.
Yeah, we've talked for several seasons about how we don't think fire making plays a factor in who wins. I feel like this is the closest that we've been to that potentially changing. Like, I think if Christina went up against Savannah and took out Savannah, that could have propelled Christina to potentially win. Now, I don't know if she would have, but Christina, Sage, and Sophie, she might have gotten second. But that, like, this fire making, I thought was, and it may not have made a difference, but I saw more potential this time, this season, than I have in probably the past 5. Best part of the episode, in my opinion, you will probably disagree, but Jeff calling Rizzo the Riz God as he snuffed his torch. That was awesome.
I saw a post that said something. I was like, put that down as one of the strangest things Jeff has ever said on Survivor.
Yeah. I think that was, I think Mike Bloom tweeted something like that. But I was just like, my thought was 10 years ago, Jeff would have been like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So, things have changed. Jeff has changed. The show has
It definitely
changed.
seems like he's willing to have a little more fun and cut loose a little bit more rather than being so rigid and I don't know.
Yeah, you talk about cut loose. Well, whatever the heck is happening on Survivor 50.
Let's talk about
Jeez Louise.
Let's talk about season 50.
We got the Billie Eilish boomerang idol, Jimmy Fallon doing something, Mr. Beast,
Zach Brown.
I don't know how I feel about that. Not Zach Brown, but just celebrity
Yeah.
involvement.
I'm not sure either, but I'm going to go into it with an open mind. And I think 50 being a celebration, let's have some fun, draw some new viewers in. I mean, Mr. Beast is hands down the biggest content creator on the planet. And just the fact that he's on the show, I think we're going to see more people tune in to that than any other episode in a long time, just because it's Mr. Beast. So I'm okay with it. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, pretty different, and kind of set the stage for the direction the show's going to go 51 and beyond.
That makes me a little nervous. I got to be honest.
And I'm not suggesting that they might have celebrities like that all the time, but
just
something is clearly going to change in the game.
100%.
They're going to have to shift and pivot, and I don't know. I'm going into it with an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I will too. My thought was just, man, we have a lot of great Survivor contestants from over the years. I feel like they should be able to carry the season and not have cameos, but
Absolutely.
that's just me.
Yeah. No, and like Blake said, I think it can be good for the amount of viewership that it could bring and potential there. I just hope it doesn't provide game-breaking twists or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want it to take away from the game.
Absolutely.
Like the core of the game.
Kind of the
But if
point.
it adds something fun, like I'm all about, switching something up, adding something fun in there. I did see a couple things that it looked like the wrestling challenge seemed to be back.
Okay.
That looks awesome. And
Coach versus Colby. Let's go.
right,
Coach was looking old.
Little heroes versus villains recap.
a couple of them looked pretty old. So
Ozzy was looking old. I'm like, Ozzy, you good?
yeah,
He's
yeah. But maybe the coolest announcement
Yes.
was 2 weeks before the premiere, Monday through Friday, they're airing episodes, you know, highlighting episodes of the players that are on season 50. So I think that's awesome.
I,
I'm super pumped.
I love that because there are a few people in 50 that like I just don't remember a ton on that season or some, and just to highlight not necessarily everything on them, but an episode or two that they're in. There's obviously some overlap of people on each season and all, but I think that's a phenomenal idea to go back through. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, and honestly, we'll probably get to see an episode where everybody is in it except for Rizzo and Savannah,
Yeah.
because there are a handful of seasons where there's more than one person there, and they're going to air 10 episodes. So we'll get to see pretty much everybody, I would think. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good it also just kind of be cool to see the evolution of Survivor over a 2 week period as well.
yeah. I wonder if they'll do it like timeline like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool if they started with like if they did a Borneo, Australia, and I think we jumped to like Cook Islands,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
Panama. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. Brandon, I've got a question for you.
Me?
Yes.
All right.
Where would you put Savannah in the last 5 winners?
In the last
where-
5 winners.
Where would you rank her? So we've got
So I would put her. So I would still that's a tough one because Dee was such a great winner, and I still feel like Dee's probably the best winner of the new era. But Savannah would be an easy second, and with time, that might change. Savannah played a great game, and I'm being careful of recency bias because I was so impressed with the way that she approached Survivor. I think I said it where it's been a while since we've seen somebody out there that their sole focus is to win, and you could just see how focused she was each and every phase of the game. Even in her final tribal council speech, I was like, she is so focused on the mission here. And even in Jeff was like, "Hey Savannah, what do you think about being part of this elite group of women?" She's like, "I don't care. I'm here to win. I'm here to win $1 million." And I think I admire that, but man, it's probably still D, but it's easily Savannah second.
Do you want to rank all of them?
Do you have do you have a list right now? Do you have a list up?
I can get it. All right. And it doesn't have to be a blind ranking, where all these people are, but we'll start with 41 with Erica.
What is it? 1 through 9?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her 9, and it's not even. I don't even think it's her fault. I think that was such a poorly edited season where we really just did not get to see her journey. Mm-hmm. So maybe if we saw it differently, I'd be like, oh wow, Erica played a great game, but she was just kind of under the radar. Wolf in sheep's clothing is how she described herself, and they just didn't do a good job of showing that. So kind of one of the weaker winners.
Marianne.
I'm gonna put her at 5. She was a player that I did not care for at first, but really grew on me as the season progressed. I liked kind of how she grew throughout the post-merge aspect of the game, and I found myself rooting for her by the end of it.
What about Gabler?
Well, so the problem with Gabler is that season had Jesse, had Cody, and Cass in the final 3. I think Owen was a finalist for that season as well. But it was one of those where it just didn't feel like Gabler should have won. And it's one of the few seasons where you're like, Cass was robbed. So I put him at 8.
I think that's a good one. Good spot for him.
Next, Jam Jam.
Jam Jam. Big fan of Jam Jam and the Three Stooges with Carolyn and Carson. That's kind of where I feel like Survivor. I feel like I'm ranking the season more than the winner at this point, but that's kind of where I feel like Survivor New Era started to really figure itself out. But great social game, Jam Jam. So put him at 4.
Solid. And D.
D's number 1.
D's number 1.
D's number 1. I had an alliance at the beginning of the game with the Reba 4. Drew, Austin, Julie rode that out to the end of the game as far as she could, and it was just a rarity. And just, again, super focused, controlled the game basically the entire time. For some reason, the goofballs that were in her season wouldn't work together for a couple votes and vote them out. But yeah, number 1 for me, D.
What about Kinsey?
Kinsey, best social winner we've had in a very long time.
And we can shift these if we need to.
So I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to move Jam Jam to 6, and I'm going to put Kinsey at 4.
Wow. Jam Jam, Marianne over Jam Jam.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Rachel?
Rachel. 98. Oh, gosh. I've messed up. Rachel's so good. You know what? I'm putting Rachel at 3. I liked Rachel's game a lot.
I did too.
Rachel, the Rice Bandit. Again, a player that just kind of was a very well-rounded player in her, and it was really fun to kind of see Rachel and Genevieve go at each other a little bit, and 47, man, probably still the best season of the new era. So
Yeah, it's a
great season from start to finish with a very well-deserved winner.
All right, last 2. Kyle and Savannah.
I'm sorry, Kyle. I loved Kyle's game, but man, Survivor 48 is a snooze. And
You definitely are ranking the seasons.
yeah, but well, listen. I mean, the winner's a big part.
I would put Kyle over Marianne.
I probably should, and I think I will. I'll swap them out. I'll put Kyle 5 and Marianne. I'll put Marianne 6 and drop Jam Jam down to 7. Sorry, Jam Jam. But yeah, Kyle, I loved his gameplay. I loved him and Camilla's duo alliance. I still think that's one of the coolest things I've seen. And it was, if there's a highlight that I can take away from 48 from what was an otherwise forgettable season, it was that. And Kyle was so good. Again, loved the Kyle and Camilla connection. Camilla helping him out in Final Tribal and serving him up an alley-oop. That was really cool. That was cool. Glad to see them on Survivor 50. I'm curious how they're going to navigate it. But
yeah, I kind of forgot that Kyle was on there. So there will be 3 winners then. Mm-hmm. D, Kyle, and Savannah. Okay. All right, so your list, how you rank them was D, Savannah, Rachel, Kinsey, Kyle, Marianne, Jam Jam, Gabler, and Erica.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I feel good about that. I think that I don't think that there's necessarily a bad winner in New Era. I think that there's just like, I would have preferred if you would have won, or like, I don't really understand your journey. So, but yeah, we've had, I don't know. I think it's kind of D and Savannah, and then like everyone else as far as just caliber of gameplay.
Yeah, I think for me, there's kind of 3 groups: D, Savannah, and then Rachel, Kinsey, Kyle,
Yeah.
and everyone else.
Yeah, that's fair.
All in all, I think great season. Definitely better than 48. But I say that, and when just talking about Kyle and the winner of that season, when I think of Kyle and Camilla and that gameplay more than I think about how boring the rest of it was and how kumbaya it was. So the fact that we had a good winner there, and it wasn't no shots at Eva, but if she would have won, I would have felt much differently about that season than I do now. So yeah, no, I can't wait for season 50. It feels like we've been talking about it for a year plus, and
49
we probably have.
Yeah, 49 flew by, man.
It
Really
did.
did.
And honestly, season 50 is going to pop up quick. I mean, it's
Yeah.
February 25th?
25th, 26th, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, great season. Schedule wise, Christmas next week, New Year's, gonna take a couple weeks off, and then as we've been talking about since the summer, Traders. We're dipping our toes in the Traders, so that starts on January 8th on Peacock, and those episodes are every Thursday, and that runs up basically, if they do it like they did it in Traders 3, that runs up basically to the premiere and maybe a week after Survivor starts, so there'll be a little bit of overlap, but yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, and we'll post something about what days that podcast will be up. It may not be on Friday for Traders since it comes out Thursday night. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out for sure.
So, but yeah, I'm excited. If you don't watch Traders, you should tune in here, get our takes. And yeah, if you don't know what Traders is, go check it out. And if you like the social side of Survivor, you will like Traders. It's awesome. So,
Yep.
One of my favorite reality TV show, like game shows. So, and you'll probably know somebody from it. There's people from Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race to
If you watch Bravo, there's a lot of Bravo people that show up on it. So
Real Housewives, Donna Kelsey, Travis Kelsey's mom. So we got some good people on there. So definitely check it out. But yeah, I think that's all I've got.
What a season.
till next year.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thanks for tuning in, like always, and like we always say, we'd be sitting here talking about Survivor anyway, and the fact that people want to hear our takes on it is awesome. So, thank you all, and
Appreciate it.
See you next year.
Go ahead and say goodbye, Logan.
Goodbye, Logan.